Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, we're going to be covering the markets live. We will be live at 7 p.m. Eastern, streaming probably roughly 45 minutes today to an hour, covering the markets, covering a couple coins. We'll also go through some news, right? I just want to talk about some news to see, sometimes people ask me, how important is this news? How important is this? And we're going to go over all of that. We are also going to, right, talk about what the markets are doing. Now, if you see me in the same shirt 4 or 5 videos from now, just know I am pre-recording, right? I am pre-recording. It just does work better in terms of schedule-wise. And it's better to call something out in advance than to seem like Mr. Hindsight, because I guess anyone can do that. So, listen, we've been saying for multiple days now that, yes, despite the structure shifting, I still expected a liquidity sweep, right? I still expect some type of manipulation to the downside. Now, someone asked me, well, what happened to the 91-day rule? Well, first off, it is still on track. It is still on track, right? When we go to the global liquidity index, we could see, right? Take this, change it to like a different color, boom, 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 right? Historically, it has been very, very accurate. Boom, the tops 91 days, and then next week sell off, right? Boom, from the bottom 91 days, next week manipulation, go up, right? If we take it from this, right, we talked about how last week was going to be a sell, 91 days, it was perfect. But look, if we take the next one, which is all the way up here, and we go here, this is 91 days. You have to realize the week is not done, right? The week is not done. We are only on a Wednesday. And by the time Friday, Saturday, and Sunday happens, we very well may be at equal highs or already past that, okay? You got to remember, things can shift very, very quickly. We'll go back in history in just a second. We can see that before, right, price was coming back down, and then it was the Wednesday where price went up multiple thousands, the Thursday where it was retesting, the Friday and Saturday where it's still pumped, from 79K all the way to 85.5. So we can see things can shift very, very quickly. And we also have very big news, right? We're not going to go, too much in depth about how this and this the news is, but NFP is one of the biggest news events each month for the Americans, right? And this is usually when a lot of manipulation, a lot of big moves happen. So it would not surprise me if, we're going to be slowly coming back down. We dip very quickly, right? We go back down, we dip quickly, and then that same Friday, we go up a lot, right? It would not surprise me if starting Friday is going to be the recovery, right? We talked about how the structure looked poor. It did not look convincing despite it shifting in structure, right? Because we were having lower highs, right? Lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. But then boom, we broke above it. Then we had a higher high, higher high, higher low. But again, yesterday here, we're talking about the structure did not look convincing. Also, altcoins were showing multiple times. It was not convincing. I talked about Kaspa yesterday. It was not convincing. Render, not convincing, right? Multiple projects. Turbo, not convincing. So the data is right there, right? It's not like we're Mr. Hindsight. Even something like ZBEC, we talked about pull-ups, right, to this zone more or less, literally tapped in, and now it's looking to be selling off. Okay, so we've talked about this. We talked about this. Now, like I said, I expect Friday to be the main manipulation, or probably the main time where we really, really recover, because usually that's the market's excuse to make very, very big moves is on that first Friday, which is the NFP, right? The first Friday of each month, which is the NFP. So look, people, how low can Bitcoin go? Well, for me, guaranteed, taking out the last weekly candle, right? Boom, 103K for me is like guaranteed. Now, here's the question. Will it take out this triple bottom, right? There's a lot of liquidity there. So in terms of pure manipulation, I would love to see that. I would love to see this and then just this, because this, oh, that is going to be like the most bullish thing. But it is not promised. Why? Because last time, right? Last time we can see that we took out the last weekly candle, right? We took out the Sunday, but then we took out the Monday price action, but we never took out all of this like extra liquidity. There was just another free 2 daily candles that could have got swept if price just went down like an extra 1,000, but it didn't. So I can't promise that based off global liquidity when we lined it up perfectly, right? When we lined it up perfectly with the candles where they exactly are, it said Bitcoin should be going down to roughly 100,000, maybe a little bit lower. So I think there is a decent chance. I personally would be looking for some type of long positions if I am leverage trading. Now, this is not like, I'm not telling you to do this if you do leverage trade, but if you see the sweep of this bottom, right, something like this might be worth the risk, right, to equal highs or even higher highs, because global liquidity does suggest that by mid-June, right, maybe even a little bit earlier, we should be around 120,000, right? Around 120,000 is where we should expect Bitcoin to be. So like I said, in my previous video, I do believe this week is going to be the literal last, dump. Here's the deal, people, right? Altcoins are struggling a lot more. In terms of Bitcoin, I literally do not expect for us to be reaching this price ever again until bear season, right? So context matters in terms of the titles, in terms of what I talk about. I know a lot of you guys listen on average to around halfway, a little bit more than halfway in the videos, because I can see the average view time. So it's very good that you are paying attention, you are taking notes. But we can see, right, if we line up the global liquidity more or less with how the charts are, right, take the weekly, right, we have to do something like this. We have to make it actually more like this. Thank you very much. Boom. We're not going to make it perfect right now, but it's something like this, right? It's something like this. And we can see, right, when we take the bottom of this where we're currently at, it does sweep all of this, right? It does. So just be wary about that we could see Bitcoin go below 100K just temporarily. And also in terms of psychology, it is a fantastic number for institutions to be buying up, for the market makers to bounce off of it, and just overall, like, whole numbers, the markets love it, people like it. It just is what it is. But yeah, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy. Hopefully I'll see you at 7 p.m. Eastern today. Let's talk about news. Let's talk about the markets a little bit, maybe a few altcoins here and there, but we're going to mostly do news today. That is it. Love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye. Portfolio reviews, economic and global updates and news, frequent up-to-date technical analysis, and a very supportive community. Sell and buy calls and trading education is provided. If that sounds good to you, now is the time to act. Once the markets start moving, there is no I should've, coulda, woulda. Now is the time. If you want to take things to another level, we have the blueprint that covers everything from A to Z in crypto that you need. No fluff, no bullshit, just the most important news, fundamentals, and technicals to have you succeed in these markets.